I feel like each and every one of us has a purpose, especially every single life. If you think about how the odds are stacked against us to even just be born, you'd realize everyone is special. But if we always just keep focusing on this like one tunnel way of thinking, then a lot of us will lose our purpose or even understand our mission as to why we're here on Earth.
Speaking on being on Earth, like that too is limited.
Unfortunately.
We all have an expiry date.
Borrowed time. Yeah.
What do we do with the time that we have right now? And how do we make the most of it? But most importantly, how do we inspire the next generation to pick it up and keep going?
True.
Welcome to the Nile Reflection Podcast. I am Sarah Chan, Manager of African Scouting for the Toronto Raptors, Development Associate with Giants of Africa, and founder of Home at Home Foundation. This podcast is aimed to shed light on the sensational African talent, but also the untold stories from South Sudan. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. Today's guest is a phenomenal actor, Stephen Pitya Tongun, aka TOPGUN. He was born in Juba, South Sudan during the Civil War in 1988. His family got displaced shortly after and became a refugee at just 6 months old. They escaped to Nairobi, Kenya, where they lived in Kibera for 12 years before moving to Australia. The Tongun family were granted a humanitarian visa to settle in Adelaide, South Australia in the year 2000.
Yeah.
Stephen got a scholarship to study at Christian Brothers College, where he excelled in both sports and academia. After high school, he completed a double degree in law and commerce at Flinders University. Stephen was admitted to practice as a barrister and solicitor in South Australia, and is currently working at Equitable Law. He's also a sought-after master of ceremonies, and is often. I think he should actually be hosting, not me.
No, you're doing a great job. You know? Just a host who does the most.
Well, thank you. Sought after hosting festivals, concerts, pageants, and weddings, including being the official MC for Viper Challenge.
Wow. So now
Asia's biggest obstacle course event.
Yeah, obstacle courses. It's challenge yourself. It's good for the mind. It's good for the body. It's good for the team. It's good for everyone.
Stephen's love for the performing arts and music has also seen him grace many stages as a professional actor and crooner. He has recently appeared in the latest Netflix Sci-Fi Thriller Spiderhead. You need to go watch all of this.
Yeah. Sweet things to watch. Some good stuff.
This has been fun. I've watched it myself. It's incredible. You don't want to miss out. He has also featured in the films Escape from Pretoria, Never Too Late, and on the acclaimed ABC TV show Stateless, and
also on Netflix.
Yeah. And in Danger 5. You can see him later on in the year in a new Netflix TV series called A Second Chance.
Actually, good news, it's actually out already.
Yeah?
Second Chance, Gymnastics Academy. Check that out on Netflix as well.
But also he is our first actor from South Sudan that's in Hollywood, and this is such an honor to have you on the set.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. I know we've been trying to capture each other in terms of timing. Last time I was in Nairobi, you got in touch with me. The schedule was tight, but this time around I came and I was like, you know what? I have to speak to the one and only Miss Sarah Chan.
Well, thank you.
Who's Stephen? It's a good question. I mean, look, I go by different names. Obviously, you've heard the Stephen Pitya Tongun. It's my full name, aka TOPGUN or MC TOPGUN. But really, my story is, it's one of truth. As a South Sudanese person, I was born during that civil war. Grew up knowing that I was a refugee, living far away from home. But through all the trials and tribulations, I was very fortunate to have a family in a unit that really not only helped me get through all that stuff, but really supported me throughout my whole journey. And I think my journey it's one like so many other people have the same sort of journey. So many people go through struggles, refugees in general, specifically from our country of South Sudan. We still have refugees today who are displaced. And it's very unfortunate that we have so many more opportunities to build a nation of beauty and much more, integrity and whatnot. So my thing now is, now that I'm at this age where I can gracefully come back home and tell people my story and really just kind of try and motivate people to just understand that you don't necessarily have to always dwell on the hardships. I think as long as you have life in you, as long as you have breath in you, as long as you have dreams, as long as you have a good support network, I think you should always make the most out of that.
100%.
And continue to rise, because just because you're a refugee doesn't mean your life is defined just by that.
So why acting for you?
Why acting? Why not? No, acting is, I think it's a great way to not only express yourself, but I think for me, acting has always been a sense of refuge. Growing up as a refugee, a lot of the times, you have to act like you need to fit in.
Right.
So I grew up knowing very well, to be honest, sometimes society kind of gives you that impression that, yes, you're not from here, so the best thing you can do is act like you're from the place, right? So for me, I always grew up knowing that I just needed to act a certain way, carry myself a certain way. But acting, it started from a long time ago. My family's always been, I guess they're a bunch of entertainers. Let me just put it that way. My sister's the drama queens. So the drama aspect has been there from the get-go. If you hear my mom talking on the phone, as you know, most Junubin mothers, they can tell a full story just by a simple phone conversation, right? But for me, it started from a young age, but it's just become a labor of love that, I couldn't picture myself really living without having that creativity or the performing art element of it. So for me, I think it's the best occupation. And mind you, you get to do some good stuff, some cool stuff, collaborate with some cool people, some great talents on screen and on stage. So for me, it's just been, it's been a love that I love from the get-go, and I've never looked back.
It's funny you should say that, because in Spiderhead, you're alongside Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
We're all like, oh my God, what a privilege.
Please, I'm not going to give you Chris's number. Women acting like...
No, it's okay. We have our own Chris, so we're good. But you're great too.
Thanks. I'm more accessible.
Well, accessible, but also very talented.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah. What challenges, if any, did you experience as an immigrant child in the diaspora, chasing your dreams?
I think that the challenges are many. For me, starting from here, the biggest challenge was really not only trying to fit in, but always being reminded that you're from somewhere else. I remember that being a big challenge. When I went to St. Anna's Preparatory College, I was one of those only kids who was from South Sudan there. We had a few, but for some reason I always seemed to be the one who got picked on. But the challenges have been many. First and foremost, it's very easy to judge people based on, stereotypical views, etc., etc. And there was a lot of that growing up.
Right.
You remember the ads where you see kids with flies on their faces, and kids can be very mean.
Right.
So straight away from the bat, I knew it's not going to be an easy life. But other than that, in the diaspora, in terms of Australia, I guess probably the hardest thing for me was just being homesick, missing my friends. Because when I left at the age of 12, all the friends that I had known were here.
Right.
And I was tight with these guys. Most of us grew up together. We grew up since the age of 1. Finding new friends was slightly challenging, but I think it also helped because it made me understand that I needed to come out of my comfort zone. I needed to go out there and make new friends. My siblings, as much as they wanted to be friendly, but they didn't want anything to do with me. I was not cool enough for them. But we've all experienced
They
that.
did not see years to come, eh?
Well, look, now we're all good friends.
Yeah.
But initially it was tough. But at the same time, I think sometimes you got to just take hardship with, grain of salt and humility,
Right.
and just fight for what you think is right. So I spent a lot of time fighting for what I thought was right, which was, fighting against bullies, fighting against racism, fighting against so many different things. And I think from that young age, that's one of the things that really made me even have a strong sense of justice. And,
Right.
want to take up law as an occupation because, I know what it feels like to be the underdog. I know what it feels like to be bullied, right? And not that I've never been afraid of any fights. Junubin blood in me. I don't mind confrontation.
We don't want peace.
Yeah, well, look,
You want problems.
We want peace, but come on, Taka. If you want confrontation, we'll confront you, especially when it's something that's near and dear to you. So
Right,
me, I was that
right.
kid. I was that kid always standing up to the big boys who were trying to bully me.
Right.
And it hasn't really stopped. I'm still sort of trying to fight justice. Now, obviously, the bullies are different. We're talking about corporations. We're talking about governments.
Right.
So many different people that are making things harder for not only refugees and asylum seekers, but just people in general.
I can definitely relate. Came to Kenya when I was 12 as well.
Yeah.
So navigating that space and being a South Sudanese girl.
Yeah.
Challenges to build endurance.
Do you think as a girl especially, because obviously, we have such pride in our girls.
Yes.
Boys, we're kind of like sheep where can go wrong.
Find it out.
But for girls,
Experiment.
there's a lot. And mind you, it speaks volumes because it's mainly the boys that are the troublemakers. In my view.
Right. Well, of course, there was always that element because I grew up with 2 older brothers.
Yeah.
I'm the first of the daughters and one of 4.
Yeah.
So I was just right at that age where your brothers are rubbing off of you, but you're trying to be a good example to your younger sister. But dad's elements are kind of in you. And honestly, to be honest, I am very grateful for it because just like you said, it really does build a very thick skin.
It does.
And it helps you navigate. I don't think that I would be where I am today without the input, without the trying to test the waters, without the not knowing but believing and still working towards it.
Yeah.
But also the family dynamics that you grow up in. They kick my butt.
Look, I think it's fair to say we all got our ass kicked by a sibling.
Right. No, it's been a blessing.
Yeah, it may not have felt good at the time, but I think, like you're right. I think one of the best things about being in a Sudanese family, for instance, is there's numbers.
Yes.
You learn so much from different people. At the end of the day, yes, there is hardships, but I think there's something to be said about a good family unit that basically helps each other sort of navigate. And I know for me, one of the things I've come to realize in my much adult age now is that they were going through so much as me. In fact, I think even it's fair to say, since they had spent more time in Sudan, they knew more of the culture back there. Maybe they had even a harder time trying to fit in. When you're 12,
right.
Yeah. I mean, when you're 12, you know a thing or two about life, but when you're
and there's a bit of a versatility too to adopt somehow.
It's a lot easier to adapt, right?
Right.
A lot easier to make friends, a lot easier to find yourself, I guess. But at the same time, I can see why many of us are used as punching bags. But anyway, we roll with the punches.
Well, and grateful for it too. I've seen a lot of the videos you've posted, attending, for instance, Spiderhead premiere with your mom.
Yes.
Having a great time with the cast members on the red carpet. Oh, you guys need to go and check out his video on his page. His Instagram handle is Stephen Tongun.
Yeah, MC. Stephen Tongun.
Yes. And you'll see all of these videos. you guys look like you're having an incredible time, but also I think what stands out the most is the family support, but also just the bond that you have with your mom.
True.
And I can only imagine just what a role that has played in your journey towards acting and, you know, finding who you are and just settling in. I think it really plays a huge role in that. But then I would really just want to find out, like, along the way, or like your journey towards acting, how has that been? Could you walk us through that?
Look, it's been it's a strange journey, because like it's interesting you're talking about my mom now as well. She's the one who's attending the red carpets with me and stuff, right? And it's bittersweet, because for me, like, she's always been my number one supporter, right? Throughout everything I've done, she's always been the one to support me. She's been there from the day dot, man. Yeah. From Sunday school, pocket money, to school fees, to you name it, man. Mom's been, you know, so for me, it only made sense to celebrate the wins with her as well. When it comes to the acting, it's not, I think my mom, or my parents in general, not that they were not supportive of the acting, they were more supportive of the educational aspect of, you know, getting a degree, studying law. As you know, it's law, medicine, engineering.
Absolutely.
Or, you know,
doctor. Don't forget doctor.
Or, the doctor is definitely a big one. And mind you, that's my old man being a doctor.
Right.
The pressure was there from the get-go. So it was not an easy conversation to try to tell them that I wanted to pursue acting. So for me, I always knew like they were going to say no anyway. So the plan was always just to, you know, just keep it pushing on the low.
Right.
But at the same time, I knew one day, hopefully they'll appreciate the sentiments. And sure enough, you know, now we're attending the red carpets. And my mom being the biggest entertainer I know, you know, she steals the show every single time.
Absolutely.
So
in those videos, sorry, I was looking at mom.
I think she has a great acting career if she really wants it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to rope her into something.
It runs in the family.
Yeah, the real Medea.
Hey. The real Medea.
The Junubi version, the Junubi version.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but no, I think the acting was, from the get-go, it was always, it was a passion of mine. But at the same time, I grew up in reality. You know, you have passions and then you also have an occupation.
Facts.
Right?
And how did you navigate that?
Well, you have to pick both sides if you really want to succeed. Because at the end of the day, you need more than one income these days. Let's be honest. But for me, as much as I enjoyed acting, when it started, it was more of a hobby. It was more, you know, I did it because I enjoyed doing it. Whereas, you know, when you're studying, you know, at the end of the day, you want to make sure you can, you know, get some work, support your family, provide for your loved ones. So that was always in the back of my mind, in terms of whatever I do, I have to make sure I tick those boxes. You know, I knew how much time and effort and money that was invested in my education. I did not want to let my parents down by just being like, oh, I just want to focus on acting, right? Why not do both? And sure enough, we've done it. So it can be done.
Very possible. So how long have you been in the film industry?
Film in essence, I'd say, so my first short film project that really sort of put me in a pedestal where I thought, you know, I could actually do this professionally and take it further was back in 2009. Right. So before that, I was doing drama studies at high school. I had a very, very good opportunity to study at CBC, but the teachers there, the drama teacher there, Miss Amanda Porters, I give her so much credit just because of the love and attention she gave us students, you know. Many people take drama as like a bludge lesson. Bludge in Australia is like, you know, it's like just a lesson you just do for the sake of just getting it done. But I got so much from those lessons because, you know, we did things like meditate. We would, you know, have skits where we sort of impromptu stuff. I learned Tai Chi. I learned so many different things that really helped me sort of not only focus my mind on life, but at the same time, I enjoy the lessons that I was doing. And I think that's what education should be about. If kids don't enjoy what they're studying, I think it's very hard to even convince anyone to pursue anything further than that. But Amanda Portis really, she was the one who really made us feel the love of acting and knowing that we could pursue it further. So shout out to her and everyone else who was part of that CBC circle, drama study, or the company of muses at the time, as we called it. But it's a good thing to follow your passions, but always remember, you can be more than just one thing.
Facts.
Have more occupations if you want. Follow your passions, but at the same time, be real with yourself, because bills ain't gonna pay themselves.
Absolutely. No, 100%. And I think that's a very crucial point, because oftentimes the young people want to either pick this or that, but you can be so many things.
Yeah.
But also one of the most important things is education.
Yeah.
Have a backup plan, right? If this doesn't work, then
very true.
How do we, chase your dreams, but everything comes in and gels to mold the you, and it makes you unique.
See, you're an example also as well. I want to flip it on you as well, right? So, as a professional basketball player, right, we all know that in itself, it's you love the game, passionate about it, but you also studied,
right?
Master's degree,
right?
Undergrad, same thing, right? You knew you have to have
both
sides. And gratefully, South Sudanese families will not let you slide.
Oh yeah, no
direction or the other.
No, absolutely.
What was your like passionate thing growing up? Did you always know you wanted to do basketball or?
Basketball, no. I started basketball at 17, actually. Aparongai.
Okay.
Laser Hill.
Walikuwa wakasema wewe ni mrefu, wewe kuja hapa.
I swear to God, that's exactly how it happened. My late principal, Mr. Were, decided that I was not just going to walk around at 6 foot.
Yeah.
Being 16,
that age,
about to turn 17. I said no, I didn't want to play. The next day, as sure as daylight, he made it mandatory for the whole school. Like, you had to participate. So I tried swimming. I almost died. I said, this is not for me. I swear I did it. I was like, I'm 24.
And you're from Upper Nile.
Yo, the Nile is like 100 meters from my granddad.
He was trying to help you. But anyway.
But anyway, I tried swimming. I almost died. I said, it's not this one. So I tried lawn tennis. Also didn't work out for me. I was like, for how long? How long is this gonna take? In King Julian's voice, eh? How long is this gonna take? I said, okay, no, this is not working.
Yeah.
Then I tried basketball, and my coach was an Ulinzi Warrior guy.
Right.
So he was playing, and then he was also super tough. And I enjoyed that, because being from South Sudan, all of that.
Tough love.
Oh, God. It works perfectly. Language. I was like, ooh, I like this. That's how I got into it. I actually got forced. It sounds come a joke, but it was like, careful. You do something.
But you've done so well, because
I'm grateful.
You've played ball, USIU. You're like everyone that I know from USIU speaks so much highly of you. You know me, Sarah Chan.
Thank you, my people.
That's our MVP.
Yeah, that's home. USIU is home. But yeah, no, it's been such an incredible journey. Glad I listened and I was obedient at that age to believe and do without understanding or even knowing where the outcome would lead me to.
True.
But here we are.
Yeah.
Right? But back to you. This is not about me today.
It's about us. It's we're celebrating each other.
Absolutely. So what's your favorite role in your acting career?
Man, I've been asked this question so many times of late. Because I've done quite a few things. It's each one is like near and dear, and like I can't say I like one more than the other per se, but I can just say the ones that have given me a better platform, the ones that I'm well known for. Obviously, the Spiderhead.
That was a fun movie to watch.
Oh, it's a great film. A great film. For those of you that haven't watched it, it's based on a short story written for the New York bestseller. It's a story basically about humanity and how we're in a situation or a space now where pharmaceutical companies feel they can do anything and everything to us. So, it's very timely in my books anyway. I think it's something everyone needs to watch.
Right.
But it's also about the emotions and relationships that we have with each other.
Also the timing of it, the shooting during the pandemic.
The pandemic was obviously a time where all of us had no clue what the hell was going on. Everyone has advice for you.
We're still trying to
left, right, center. Yeah, we're still trying to figure it all out. But at the same time, I think I'm a strong believer that we are always stronger when we're fighting a cause together.
Absolutely.
Divide and conquer is something that everyone has done.
Right.
And I feel like, the pandemic was a good time for those that wanted to divide us, and those that wanted to unite. But thankfully, we're away from that now. We're good. On the other side, I hope.
We're getting there.
But, I just want to keep telling good stories.
Right.
Escape from Pretoria.
Right.
Story about the most daring prison escape of all time. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's a great film directed by Francis Annan. Features Daniel Radcliffe. For those of you that know Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. It's his, I guess, most known sort of role.
Right.
But him and the cast does an amazing job. We do it justice in terms of just telling the story about the most daring prison escape of all time. Around the apartheid era, and South Africa obviously being a country that has been struggling for so long to get its sovereignty and independence. But it was good to be a part of that project. I think it's a lifelong sort of dream to be part of something that is telling a story not only about history, but will live on.
Absolutely.
Way after I'm gone.
Would you have thought that this is the pathway that you'd have took?
I think I would have always been led towards this path. I just didn't know when and how. So for me, I think I always knew that all I had to do was apply myself in terms of just get better with my craft. I knew that to be able to sort of make it to that level, you have to have obviously the talent to match. So it was all about, doing your 10,000 hours. And I mean that. If you really want to be good at anything, you got to put in the work, put in the time.
Absolutely.
So I put in the time when it came to amateur theater. I've been through the ranks from doing extra roles to getting commercials. From commercials, then you graduate to like a featured extra. And from a featured extra, then you graduate to like a cast member. Maybe you have like a couple of lines. So that whole trajectory, it's part of the whole process.
Right.
Because I think without that, then you lose a lot of learning.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Learn
Learn your craft and learn the good, the bad, and everything else in between.
So how do you stay motivated and driven?
Man, it's never been really much of an issue. To be honest, I'm serious.
It's a great thing.
Because, man, how do I stay motivated? One, I'm a busy person. I like that saying that says, if you want anything done, give it to a busy person. I like being busy. I like being useful. I love making the most out of my time. What people don't understand at the end of the day, like I think you have short windows sometimes in life. So if you also snooze, you lose.
Absolutely.
I hate being broke.
You can repeat that again. You snooze,
you snooze, you lose.
And I hate being broke.
If you waste your time, it waits for no one.
Absolutely.
But how do I stay motivated? Honestly, I just want to keep getting better and better at everything I'm doing. And like I said, I hate being broke. So
I like that.
Yeah.
So now speaking of being broke, right?
Yeah.
So of course in this business, there's a good lump sum of money.
Yeah.
So what did you do with your money?
Like most people, I spent it.
Well, good for you.
I spent it. I'm not gonna lie. I spent it. I spent it all. I spent it all on my loved ones. I invested like everyone, we all have responsibilities, mortgages, etc., etc.
Right.
But yeah, I spent most of my wages, most of my money has always been about investing, not only in myself, but in the people around me. Because, I live in the real world where I can't buy a $100,000 car. I can't justify that when, I know people that are struggling to pay school fees and all that sort of stuff. So for me, I've always grown up in that environment where we're all about helping each other. when I have today, I invest in you. And hopefully you can carry that forward in whatever shape, way or form.
Right.
But look, I'm just praying for more opportunities to make more money so I can keep doing it.
And so many more will come.
Inshallah.
The trajectory is looking great.
Inshallah. But yeah, at the moment I'm about to open a GoFundMe, so if you wanna
Hey, I hope he adds my name to the GoFundMe because
new projects. It's going towards new projects. Sadaka. Sunduk.
100%, please. Nyongeze in the sunduk because
everyone is welcome.
Oh, thank you.
We should start.
We hold them accountable for that. Eh?
No, we should start. I think because a lot of people, especially in our country, man, there's a lot of money there, but people want to sit on it.
No, 100%.
And people want to, let the banks enjoy the money, and people are struggling out there. I think the least you can do is invest, not only in the country, at least yourself, your family members.
Right.
Yeah, money's not necessarily to be just put aside. It's meant to be used and
let your money make money for you.
Let it multiply. Right. That's the plan. So kids out there, just remember, make the money, but let the money work for you.
100%.
Don't work for the money only.
Chase your passion. The money comes.
It does, to be honest. It really does.
Yeah.
It really does. Yeah. If you would have asked me how life would be 30, 40 years ago, I'd tell you straight up now. Yeah, let the money work for you.
Absolutely. And speaking of our country, but also investing in, what are your thoughts on the South Sudan film industry, or just the African film industry?
Look, when it comes to the African film industry, I'm so optimistic. I think it's so good now that we have so many different platforms. You have Nollywood, that's great. You have amazing things coming out of places like Ghana, South Africa, Kenya.
Right.
Even Uganda is doing some great things.
Right.
I just feel like, it's our time now to get the credit we deserve. You can see what we're doing in the Afrobeat section, or the music section worldwide. I think film is the next thing to blow up. I think it's just a matter of just having the right infrastructure from top to bottom, government all the way down. I think if all of us invest in our film industries, we are going to be better for it. Not only because we're telling our own stories, but African cultures is all about that, sharing stories and learning from those experiences.
The folk tales.
So I want to see more when it comes to South Sudan. I haven't seen much, to be honest. I know there are people there that are doing amazing things in terms of playwrights and so many people that want the industry to kind of pick up. But I know that we don't have much support, not only from government all the way down. A lot of it is really, it's you wanting to make this project happen and pushing for it. But if we can get the help and investors to do that, and people who see value in telling our stories, then for me, I'm all about supporting that.
I agree 100%.
But things will get better. I think we're the generation to make that change.
I think so.
Yeah, we just don't need too much red tape, because at the end of the day, you can't live in a society where you're restricted in terms of the stories you can tell. Stories should be shared regardless.
That's deep.
And at the end of the day, it's just a story, man. Chill.
Chill.
If it's a true story, even better.
Cheers. Hey.
This medida is very nice, by the way.
This medida is so good. Oh, this medida is so good. Guys, we'll send you the recipe. We'll link it below.
Yeah, we're using some good sorghum.
So how important is technology in the film industry, but also how much more important is it for the youth from different backgrounds, but especially because we know where we came from. The us that was struggling during the time, like it was between the climbing the trees and then coming into the internet era. Yes. I enjoyed, by the way. Yeah. How important do you think that is?
1 minute we're climbing trees, the next minute we're
like, internet. Got shocked.
No, it's a good point. I think, to be honest, now with 2023, technology is everything.
Absolutely.
I mean that in a sense of it's a great way for us to not only better ourselves, but when it comes to the youth, technology has made things possible. Because now, before you asked me how important technology is, especially in the film industry. You ask anyone, having the latest camera makes a difference.
I know.
Right? Because at the end of the day, the equipment you have sometimes gives you the quality that you would like or you deserve. So at the end of the day, yes, it's important, but at the same time, we're living in a time now where kids can just get their phones, film themselves. Have you seen those Nigerian kids who they do...
the Manuelas and
the Manuelas. But these kids, they basically shoot like trailers, but in a...
I've seen them.
Seen that?
They try to replicate like the scenes of movies.
Yes. So for me, I think, and that's the idea. The idea is creativity will never end. Yeah. And I feel like there's a perfect match between creativity and technology. These two go really well together and can be utilized so well if you just know exactly what you're doing. But at the same time, let's be honest, technology also can be a double-edged sword, because now it's taking away so many jobs.
No, 100%.
AI is coming in. You can see there's a lot of protests and a lot of writers even concerned now in Hollywood because they want to try and use AI to tell stories. So I think that in itself, it goes to show you that it's a very powerful tool. We have to learn how to utilize it for the better of society rather than take away from society in a way. But at the same time, we have to roll with the times. I think if you're young, you're passionate, don't be discouraged, because you don't need like the latest equipment. You just need to have, you just need to have the right platform to get your stories out there. But I do love technology, as you can see. iPhone this, iPhone that.
I know one interesting thing you've said before is AI cannot take my job. Right?
AI would not take my job as an actor. I'm telling you.
But
although they
let's not push it. We're not trying you, AI.
They can animate me in terms of many ways. They can duplicate my voice.
And there's been a lot of rising cases of that online these days. It's a little bit scary.
It's very scary, actually, because your identity can easily be taken and manipulated to
and it's very believable too.
I mean, that's if you don't have a good eye for detail. You see?
That's another thing. And how many people are very keen these days to be like, I guess.
That's the issue.
Mimi naona tu like kuna phone call ina come through or send through this number na ni Stephen. Brother yangu.
Utatuma kweli?
Nakupigia find out basi. Si tumelelewa Nairobi bana.
We
are not just sending stuff.
No, I'm not going to send that to
the universe.
Not to ransoms. But no, the fact is, we are in a situation now where we really have to be very, very cautious about two things. Like, what are we using technology for? Right? And the people who don't even have access to electricity. How can we leave everyone so far behind and then have people so far forward? I find that to be a bit of an issue, especially in places like South Sudan. And Africa in general.
Or Kakuma
camp, some people are talking about the latest gadgets, while people are just trying to get electricity in their houses. So I feel like, there's, as much as we want to talk too much about what technology can do, let's focus on the basics. Let's give people power, electricity, the basics to kind of get to that level where they need to get to.
Support where you can.
Yeah.
Like, I'm honestly thinking about the simplicity also in technology, like Kabi, right? The Senegalese guy that went from like a regular job to just following his passion and following his heart and just doing this. Hata mimi nataka pesa hivi.
Yes, ndio. Leta
hivi.
Yeah, bring the money. Bring the money.
No, that's really, honestly, it sounds so simple, but I think we just have to be really bold.
Yeah.
To know what our niche is, but also to just follow our hearts, despite who believes in you or not. I was the least likely person that anybody believed in, especially when I was on the court. Like, I was one of the first South Sudanese sportswomen, first generation basketball player from my family. In fact, being in shorts. But just follow your heart. Use technology to the best of your like ability to utilize it, but also, I think one of the most important things that has been such a lesson to me is whether people believe in you or not. And I'm so grateful that had the family that we all have, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That support didn't pressure us in this or that way, but just gave us a guideline and let us experiment and explore in our domain. But actually, this, sorry.
I just wanted to touch on this technology itself. I think it's also important, like, for us to understand. We don't necessarily have to have the latest stuff also into it, like green power.
Right.
Because we also have to think about the future. If we're just thinking about how things are going the way they are now, then we'll lose focus on how we can just basically provide the basics, like you were saying, right? But sorry to cut you, but the segue that I was going to say was the highlights that I saw. You're telling me that basketball's never really, like, you look like you were born for that role, Sarah. I'm serious. So sometimes you never know how you're going to end up there.
True.
Those highlights speak for themselves. Check out the highlights, by the way. Sarah Chan. They're on YouTube.
I'll put it in the link as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Put them on the link.
No, it's I think whatever your talent is, most importantly, your heart, your work ethic, trusting the process.
Yeah.
Working on your craft. But also, I think, honestly, even sitting with you here is such an honor because of the humility, but also knowing the work you've put into it, the commitment, the dedication, everything that goes into it, the sweat, the blood that goes into it, we have to celebrate that.
Yeah, I think it's important because if you don't
do it now,
you celebrate the wins, no matter how small.
Exactly.
Actually, Avido, my friend, told me this the other day, and it was poignant because he was talking about how a lot of people chase success, right? But then when they find success, they forget happiness behind.
But also, what about purpose? And
purpose and all that sort of stuff that really is what makes you grow to be a better person.
Right.
But it's real. You need to honor yourself, honor your purpose. That's really why you're here. We weren't just born. I don't think we were born to just pay bills and struggle in this new structure of life. I feel like each and every one of us has a purpose, especially every single life. If you think about how the odds are stacked against us to even just be born, you'd realize everyone is special. But if we always just keep focusing on this like one tunnel way of thinking, then a lot of us will lose our purpose or even understand our mission as to why we're here on Earth.
Speaking on being on Earth, like, that too is limited.
Unfortunately.
We all have an expiry date.
Borrowed time. Yeah.
What do we do with the time that we have right now, and how do we make the most of it? But most importantly, how do we inspire the next generation to pick it up and keep going?
True.
Right? True. So it's the intentionality of living, but also living with urgency.
100%.
It's not a coincidence that we're both sitting here in this generation, South Sudanese.
Yeah.
All of that amazing.
It's a good time to be South Sudanese.
Oh my God, it's a beautiful time to be South Sudanese.
Do that catch number one model out there.
Say it again.
We have the likes of, they're with my Bills playing, World Cup. We have the basketballers that are doing amazing around the world. There's so many things to be proud of. There really is. And I hope we can all, continue celebrating each other.
Yes. And collaborate.
Collaborate. Yes, collaborate. As you said, we have a short time here on this earth. Some of us may live forever thanks to AI.
No, in getting love that we are just vampires. I don't know.
But
we are regardless.
Make the most out of it. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time.
Absolutely.
Make the most out of it.
And if you're going to do anything, do it with excellence.
Yes.
If you're not going to, don't do it at all.
Do it excellence.
That's one thing that my mom has always told me.
Yeah.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah.
If you're going to do anything, do it with excellence. Do it with all the intentionality.
Yeah.
Invest in it how it should be.
It's true.
But also don't forget that. So one of the most interesting things that is two things. Our parents always told us growing up, and I hated it as a South Sudanese kid. So my dad always was like, I'm like, why does he keep saying this? Yeah. And he kept saying, like, take it serious. Education. It will one day become your mom and dad.
Yeah.
And we hated that because growing up in the Civil War, you always knew that tomorrow was not promised. You always heard stories of tragedy, people not making it. But then you also heard incredible stories of resilience and people making it against all odds. So you had to choose a pick.
Yes.
And so that was one of them. And then the second thing is, was it to waste your time?
Yeah, don't waste that time.
If you're going to do anything,
yeah,
do it with all the excellence, all the dedication that it deserves, or don't do it at all. You're not doing it for us.
It's true.
We're not going to always be here. And I always put that at the back of my mind, and honestly, without even knowing, like, that has always driven me. And without those life lessons, I wouldn't be where I am today.
It's true.
Especially being a South Sudanese girl, being an African girl, being a Black woman.
Yeah.
But it's such an incredible time, like you said. And just sitting here, I'm blessed by your presence.
We are blessed. We are blessed indeed.
Yeah.
Greetings, everyone. Salam alaikum. My name is Stephen Pitya Tongun. It's been a pleasure chilling out here with the one and only Sarah Chan. Please subscribe to this podcast. If you like what you heard, there's plenty more coming. You can follow me myself on my social platforms. You can get me on Instagram at MC Stephen Tongun or on Facebook as well. But I'm always happy to reach out or to keep in touch with everyone. So by all means, get in touch and please subscribe. More to come.
This has been such a fun and inspirational segment. Thank you so much for taken the time out of your busy schedule to be with us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Such an honor. And I hope his story continues to motivate and continues to inspire you to follow your own pathway, but also to make the best out of your life because it's yours to live. Thank you for tuning in.